Hi there, I'm Charlotte.
Hi, my name is Ivan.
And we are recreation staff
For the City of Long Beach Parks, Recreation, and Marine.
But today we're Jesse and Woody, and we're your tour guides on this PRM adventure. Woody, tell us what PRM stands for.
Hey Jesse, PRM stands for Parks, Recreation, and Marine.
That's right. And in today's training, we're going to be covering customer service, safety,
uniform, and the PRM brand.
That's right. Well, let's get to it, shall we? Yeehaw!
What is the PRM Way? Well, the Parks, Recreation, and Marine Way, there's several different ways, and we're going to cover a few of those here. And the first one is going to be inclusivity. Inclusivity. As employees who wear the PRM badge, our only customer is the public. While we may only believe them to be residents of Long Beach, visitors from neighboring cities, counties, states regularly enjoying what we provide, with this in mind, everyone you encounter merits quality, service, and attention. With how diverse our communities are, we proudly welcome everyone and aim to achieve positive experiences in everything PRM related, from taking a stroll through the park to enrolling in a program. One of the many things we do exceptionally well in our department is accommodating to fit the needs of our patrons. Being part of our youth sports program as both a coach and referee for several years has provided me with this example. I've had the great pleasure of seeing participants of all ages and backgrounds and limitations experience sport in a healthy and enjoyable environment, resulting in absolute positive experiences for both players and their families. This is true with all programs. We are here to serve our community while simultaneously building and growing our sense of community. Let's move on to the next one. We have safety. With a huge emphasis on safety, PRM is synonymous with the word safe. Our goal has been to create and continue operating programs that strongly consider physical safety as well as emotional safety. To avoid situations which may threaten either of the two safeties, include some bit of experience and thinking ahead, or considering events that happens spontaneously. Good situational judgment is also important. In both scenarios, there's one word to avoid: negligence. We as PRM staff are responsible to try everything within reasonable ability to ensure the safety of all. This one is fun. What is fun? Well, by definition, fun is enjoyment, amusement, or lighthearted pleasure. This is something which we in PRM seek to achieve within our patrons. A cool way to look at it is understanding one of our biggest responsibilities is being a professional fun haver. Now, why is fun important? Fun, it reduces stress. It releases sweet serotonin. It has qualities to improve the ability to cope with many situations. It boosts energy. It gives improved memory and concentration. It improves connection with others. You have better sleep and also positive patterns. But most importantly, fun is a happy and returning customer within the PRM branches. Now we have reliability. Reliability matters with both our coworkers and community work members. I'll start that over. And now we have reliability. Reliability matters with both our coworkers and community members. Showing up on time, being a team player, and displaying reasonable work ethics are what make part of our strong PRM department. When it comes to our community, reliability looks like expecting quality services at all of our many locations. This is a huge part which continues to strengthen our community. This takes shape many different ways, all leading to the desired comfort and satisfaction of everyone we interact with.
Our second segment for this training is customer service and the standards for PRM employees.
Customer service relates to how we treat and communicate with one another.
And that applies to internal and external relationships.
Internal and external relationships? What do you mean?
Jesse, internal being people that you work with, your coworkers. You see them every day, you work with them at your parks, at your sites. You got to get along.
Yeah, and you gotta communicate internally. So that must mean external means everyone else. How we communicate with our parents, our students, and our seniors.
Absolutely.
For internal relationships, arrive to work dressed in your uniform, ready to complete any task or activity. Remember, attitude matters. For external relationships, it's important to be knowledgeable. Be familiar with the program offerings at your site. Be resourceful and refer to your PRM handbook whenever necessary. At PRM, patrons should be greeted promptly and in a friendly and welcoming manner. Be attentive. All telephone calls should be answered within 3 rings. Program areas and office spaces should remain clean and organized. Be efficient and helpful. Use your time and resources wisely. When you've completed a task, always ask, what's next? Be patient. Remain calm when patrons get stumped and frustrated. Take the extra time to ensure that their needs have been met or exceeded. If you are unable to fix the problem, it's all right. Find someone else who can. Other customer service standards include being respectful with your words. Be clear about program details when sharing information with patrons. And always say, please and thank you.
So before we get into safety, just to reiterate some of the things that were touched on in that video, there are 6 customer service standards that we do try to uphold here at the PRM and with our PRM brand. So being attentive, being patient, being knowledgeable, communicating clearly and carefully. We might always not know the right answer, but it's okay to ask for help and to seek other people to service a certain issue. Be ready to work. We always strive for, when we're here at PRM, we want to make sure that we're ready to work as far as uniform, but also with attitude. And lastly, our main job is to be helpful, being helpful to our patrons and to the community. So now we're going to touch on our next component in this training, which is safety. As Mr. Ivan told us earlier in this training, PRM and safety, the word safe, they're synonymous, so they go together. Long Beach Parks and Recreation and Marine policies, procedures for staff and employees. So the first one is mandated reporting. So mandated reporters are people who have regular contact with vulnerable people and therefore are legally required to ensure a report is made when abuse is observed or suspected. So as PRM employees, we are considered mandated reporters, as both patrons that we work with, as far as children and seniors, are considered vulnerable. So if there's anything that we see or suspect as far as abuse taking place, we are obligated to report it. Any employee who has knowledge or observes a child within the scope of his or her employment, whom he or she knows or reasonably suspects to be the victim of child abuse, shall report the suspected instance to his or her supervisor. That's a key thing to note. You do not have to be correct, but if you believe that something is going wrong, that you see something, you've heard something, report it. It is okay to report it. Our job is not to investigate. Our job is to simply report. But anything that's suspected, anything that we see, definitely get it on paper, report it to our supervisor, and they can take the further precautions into the investigation process. Once again, our job as mandated reporters is not to investigate the abuse, it's to simply report it. If there is no supervisor at the site or day camp, we can report this abuse to the Long Beach Police Department, okay? If there's no supervisor at the site, we can report it to the Long Beach Police Department. Here is that information. We can call the Juvenile Division at 562-590-7345. All of this information is also in your PRM handbook, but most sites do have supervisors or a coordinator on their site, so you can feel free to report it to them. You do not have to go to the police department unless that supervisor is not located at your site. The next step into safety, and also one that is extremely, extremely important, is our usage of cell phones. Here is the PRM cell phone policy. Personal phones, I'll take that back. Here is the PRM cell phone policy. Personal phone calls and text messaging or the use of a cell phone are prohibited during program hours. Phones should be put away unless being used for the program. Now, there are many times where an activity will require us maybe looking up a little bit more details in order to fulfill the activity. Or there's times we just need to communicate with our other staff at the site based on what's happening at the site. That is fine. If it's related to program needs, you are absolutely required and welcome to communicate. However, personal phone calls and text messaging is prohibited. We do know and understand emergencies always appear, and please just communicate that, and then you can go ahead and step away from the program after, of course, communicating with your supervisor that you need to do so, and go ahead and handle your personal phone call. But for the most part, personal phone calls are prohibited. This is our cell phone usage policy as far as posting on social platforms. Posting any type of photo or video from PRM events or communicating with students on personal social media platforms is absolutely prohibited. We are not to follow or friend our students or program attendees on any platform, all right? It's also important that if we do take pictures of program events, we are absolutely not entitled, meaning we cannot post them, all right? Any program events are not to be posted on our social media platforms. That is absolutely prohibited. These are some safety reminders continuing on to the cell phone policy. Do not show your students personal pictures in your phone. Do not allow your students to use your phone. Students should not have any access to your personal devices, whether it's your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, any electronics that belong to you, the staff, the children should not have any contact with. Also, do not store pictures of program participants in your personal phone. Now this one, there's a trick to it because we all know that PRM, once again, we have many events and we definitely want you to capture those moments. You as program staff are at most of the events and have all of the wonderful experiences that we do at PRM. You will be able to capture them. You are allowed to take pictures. You are not allowed to store the pictures of program participants in your personal phones. So what that means, if we are at an event and you want to take a picture on your personal device, please take the picture, but immediately send it to your program supervisor or coordinator, send it to them and delete it from your device. That way it's not stored onto your personal phone and you have no evidence of taking program pictures on your personal device. Many sites also have purchased cameras or throwaway cameras so you can actually take pictures with the program site's device. But if your site does not, take it on your personal phone, but immediately send the pictures to someone else, to a higher up supervisor, and delete it from your device. Lastly, with safety, do not transport students in your personal vehicle. This is an automatic means of termination. Do not transport your students in personal vehicles, even if they beg, even if they plead, even if they say, but no one's gonna pick me up. Stay with them, of course, stay with them, but you are not allowed to transport them whatsoever. The last thing we're gonna get into in this training is our uniform, our dress code policy. At PRM, we do have a uniform policy. Before I play the video, these are some key things to remember with our uniform. It is mandatory that we wear our wrap staff or whatever site that you're at, whether it's Long Beach City Beach Runners, whether it's the park, whichever program, it's important that you wear the shirt that was provided to you. Tight fitting or revealing or oversized clothes are not appropriate. It cannot be too tight. It can also not be too baggy. There is a standard. The uniform shirt must be worn at all training. So if you're ever wondering, oh, I have this training. I wonder if I have to wear my shirt. You do. You do have to wear your shirt at all the trainings. Jewelry items may potentially cause injury, so we do, although earrings and necklaces are allowed, of course, we do advise you to just be aware of what you wear, especially when we're playing with our attendees, especially our students. Sometimes jewelry can be harmful, so just be aware of that. Hats and sunglasses are not permitted. Hats and sunglasses are not permitted inside. Hats must be worn with the bill facing forward, and you can only wear a hat that has the PRM logo or the city of Long Beach written on the hat somewhere. Okay, so that's very important. For my ladies and gentlemen who like to wear hats, the bill has to be facing forward. It cannot be turned around, and it does have to have the Long Beach or the PRM city logo on it. Let's go ahead and play this video for further details on our uniform policy.
At PRM, there is a uniform policy. You must attend work in your Navy Long Beach shirt or the shirt provided to you from your site, your badge. Your pants can either be navy jeans, black jeans, or khaki pants, and your shoes must be closed-toed. Uggs are not permitted. You may also wear shorts at PRM. They do have to be in the same color scheme, and they can't be too form-fitting. Leggings, however, are not permitted. And a big thank you to our lovely model.
Hey there, it's Ivan. Once again, I wanted to say thank you for joining us and being a part of this virtual meet. You have on your hands a very fulfilling job in many, many different ways in many different parts of this department. And we're sure you're going to, one, enjoy your stay, and two, leave your positive impact in our community, in many, many ways. You're an asset to the City of Long Beach Parks, Recreation, and Marine, and we hope you have the best and you make the most of it. And I'm going to toss it over to my partner, Charlotte.
Yes, I am Charlotte. Thank you so much for attending our virtual training. I hope to meet you in person. And just remember, here at PRM, we are like a family. No one has to be an island. If you have any questions or concerns or something is unclear to you, just ask someone and we'll be happy and eager to assist you. Thanks so much and see you soon.
Boys and girls, we've come to the end of our journey, and we hope you've enjoyed your stay in town.
We're ready and excited to send you off onto your own adventure with PRM,
Parks, Recreation, and Marine.